This episode of Co-op is brought to you by Brutal Legend, Squarespace, and GameFly.
This is what we're dealing with.
No, dude, it's cool. I'm still able to push about 90, 95.
Well, we survived another E3, guys.
Did we? Yeah.
I think.
It's over. It's over.
Deer! Deer! I have to say the one big regret that I have this year is I know that Sony had an amazing show, that they had a ton of great games. The guys been telling me about it. Due to like logistics, it's the only press conference I did not get to go to, and it's also like the one booth and appointments that I did not get to see at all. So I've seen almost nothing of the Sony. I saw all that stuff.
The thing I like about you most is you've run away with me. So pack your bags and your shotgun too. We might run into zombies. We're always down for that co-op multiplayer action. We're always down. We're so down. We're so down, we're so down for co-op. We're so down for that co-op action.
I ain't gonna die waiting on salvation. As long as we still got guns, we gonna fight.
When we saw Left 4 Dead 2 pop up in the Xbox press conference, I don't know what came to your minds, but to me it was like, wait, really?
The first thing I saw when I saw that trailer was, dude, whoever's doing this game is doing a game that's a lot like Left 4 Dead. And then like it came up and I'm like, oh.
Like this game just came out. It hasn't really had any big downloadable content packs yet, and all of a sudden we're getting a sequel.
And we got to play quite a bit of it. I mean, there were some new additions, you know, like there's melee weapons, like there was an axe.
Which was awesome, by the way. Normally when you're doing your butt people out of the way with your weapon stuff, and you can move a group of zombies out of the way, you do the same thing with your axe, only instead of it just moving them out of the way, it slices them all in half.
I think that changes the game in it's not a huge way,
right,
but it does make it more fun than the previous game was. Now if you explore, you can find like incendiary ammo for whatever gun you're holding, which sets all the zombies that you shoot on fire.
And the incendiary rounds are limited, so like if you have your pistols, you can run out of incendiary rounds, but you just go and you get them again, even though the pistol never runs out of ammo.
Right.
seemed pretty smart. At least when we played, the director put an incendiary ammo box right where we had to like open a door and wait for a whole crowd of zombies to come up on these scaffolding after us. And then it was like, you know, just hang up there with the incendiary ammo and like keep them from climbing up.
There was also the new enemy, the Charger, which is just like a tank, but had like one larger
like
arm than the, and he had one large arm and one small arm, and just still charges at you.
Right.
And he knocks you down, and instead of taking you down to where you're incapacitated like the tank does, you can get right back up. But he can also grab you,
pick you up, and slam you on the ground.
Yeah, you like if you see him from a distance, you just see him picking up somebody and slamming them down over and over and over again until you get him off him. And he's pretty weak too. You can kill him pretty fast. At least it seemed like it.
Hey, those bullets hurt, you know.
And the other thing is that the witch is back, but this time she walks around.
That's right.
She's mobile.
Yeah, so
like,
instead of having to like watch out for, you know, and walk around her, this time you have to like wait till she's clear from an area and then pass, you know?
Hey, can somebody watch my back? I'm gonna catch you up. And let's go.
Right, gotta keep moving.
Reloading.
I like that it's sunny outside because it feels totally different than the first game. Everything took place kind of at night or at dusk. And I don't know, there's just something pleasant about being able to see, even if there's crazy zombies running around.
Right.
The new game, when it comes out, is going to have 5 different campaigns, which is cool because it's one more than the last one. So you are at least getting more content than you got in the first game. If they're all set in like different times of day, I think they'll make each of the campaigns feel more, you know, more separate, more different than they were in the first game.
There's the bridge. You sure they're gonna be there?
Oh yeah, our goal is right next to the bridge, on the other mother effing side of the water.
One of the reasons Valve wanted to release this game is that they wanted to do more with the story. It does sound like you're going to be trying to figure out more about the overall story of why zombies are taking over the land, why they've taken over.
Even though there's new characters like the coach, and everything's gonna be all connected.
Look out.
They had the Xbox and the PC side by side, and all of our footage is from the Xbox version, but we actually played the PC version.
Right.
I know you guys played the Xbox version too, but I only played the PC version. And the PC version, it's a huge graphical update over the last one. It was really, really amazing looking. The Xbox one, looks a little better.
I don't think you'll notice unless you're looking at them side by side, to be honest. If you do, the PC one looks really good.
You know, we only had the one stage to play, and I'm wondering what
it wasn't even a full stage. It was only 2 safe houses. It was about 15 minutes long, maybe, the area that we played. And Jason and I played through it twice. Once on PC, once on Xbox, and then we watched people play through it a few more times.
I like all the new additions, and you know, I can't wait to play some more. You know,
Yeah, me too. Even though I've never seen Valve ever turn a product around this quick, I know that I'm at least going to be satisfied with the experience just based off the hands-on that we got.
I think people were angry at Valve because this isn't Valve's style, you know, to do something like this. Like you said, they don't usually turn around games this fast. But once you get your hands on the game, it's still Left 4 Dead. It's still awesome. And they are adding a new mode, you know, 5 new campaigns. There's going to be a lot of new content there. It's probably going to be more than was in the original game. And they've even said they're trying to work on a way to get you to be able to play with the new characters and melee weapons and all the new additions in the old campaigns as well. So
that's cool.
If they can deliver that, that's I think plenty of meat for the game.
Hey, I'm reloading.
made it, you guys.
This is it.
Yep. The big E. 3. E3.
Yeah.
Great.
That poster is huge.
Magnificent.
Dude, that is
It's a big poster.
that is a really big one.
What the hell? What's wrong with him? Let me try.
I know. You didn't know that? I didn't know. I just wanted to play the game.
Visit BrutalLegend.com for all the latest content, including Jack Black videos, trailers, behind-the-scenes shiz, and more. Pre-order the game from GameStop, and your Eddie will have an Insano Tenacious D design guitar in-game. It's a new leveled-up guitar with a unique voiceover from Jack and Kyle from the D, new sound effects, and more. And if you sign up for news at BrutalLegend.com, you'll have a chance to win a real-life Insano guitar custom modeled after the Tenacious D guitar from Alembic.
What have you been eating? I'm supposed to think you're a nun, but I know you're really some kind of big, ugly demon, so let's have it. Aha! I knew it! Big, ugly demon. Kind of sexy, though, in a weird way.
And so you return. Lovely Morrigan has at last found someone willing to dance to her tune. Such enchanting music she plays, wouldn't you say? Aw, how disappointing. You think you're the first to come, full of righteousness and bluster. If only that were so. From you, I expected more. It is a dance poor Flemeth knows well. Let us see if she remembers the steps. Come, she will earn what she takes. I'd have it no other way.
Got to play Dragon Age for a little while, and then we got to play Mass Effect 2.
And as someone who's not really into fantasy, I'm a sci-fi guy, which is why I like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But you know, Dragon Age, I haven't been really following at all. I don't really care about it. I hadn't before this.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of KOTOR, and it seemed like it had a lot of cool options about how you can build up your character, and the controls seemed better than KOTOR. My favorite thing is how gory it is.
Yeah.
Like when you go up at the very beginning of the game, or at the beginning of this demo, one of the characters was wielding some sort of melee weapon. They walked up, like sliced this thing twice, and it died. And then a conversation started.
There's a cutscene that shows your character.
And it showed the character, and it was like speckled with blood all over. like it looked like you just like fucking butchered a
full of blood.
Yeah, or like butchered a calf or something like that. It was just ridiculous.
And it was funny because I asked Greg about that. I was like, yeah, you know, you talked about how Dragon Age Origins, you know, was kind of a return to form from the old like Baldur's Gate games and everything, but the marketing really seems like blood, action, sex, action, blood.
That is a return to Bioware's roots, though, isn't it? You know, when you think about it, that was all there in those days too.
Yeah,
but in smaller pixels.
And it's all the same stuff that's in Dragon Age Origins. So really, what we're doing is actually showing you it's dark heroic fantasy. This is kind of a new way to look at fantasy. It's like it's kind of it's not Tolkien-esque high fantasy. It's not necessarily dark all the way either, like Michael Moorcock or George R.R. Martin, but it's somewhere in the middle. We're trying to actually pull out the best of breed features from both. And it's a mature, gritty world. It's a world with choice, with consequences. It's it's violence, lust, and betrayal. And we're just surfacing the stuff that's in that game.
It is Dragon Age Origins because of the decisions you make at the beginning of the game are going to affect your character as you go along. So I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of that clear-cut, light side, dark side dichotomy, or is there going to be a little bit more variation?
It's certainly a lot of gray in the world. I think, and I think the way it's also working, the what you do in the world is actually primarily reflected by the people you hang with. I mean, your party and the people you're walking around with. I mean, they'll tell you right up. If you say if you've seen the demo, they'll probably say, yeah, why are you doing that? I mean, they'll actually challenge you to the point where sometimes they'll even leave or even try and kill you, or you go the other direction where you potentially have an opportunity for romance. You're getting very close to some of the characters. These are all things that we tried to focus on the group with you, being the lens through which you see the world and the mirror reflecting it back into you. So it's really it's actually exciting how look, every game we do, we try and change up how we do the whole morality thing. We don't want to have it the same every time. We use the characters in your party this time a lot.
We really invested in the companions and the characters in the world. They have a lot more choices, and you have a ton of choices. Your origin stories influence the dialogue choices you can make in Dragon Age. So there's a whole bunch of choices I've never seen unless you make different origin choices at the beginning. So replayability is really high up there for DA.
Which is another theme they carried over into the Old Republic. They're saying it doesn't matter how you start in the Old Republic, your story is going to be completely different than somebody else that starts as a soldier versus somebody else that starts as a bounty hunter, and that it's going to take into account the fact that you have more than one group person in your party.
It's really cool how the multiplayer conversations work. I think this might be a first too. It's the full voiceover allows for the exchange between characters. It's a really interesting dynamic where one person will kind of interject and kind of make a comment and make the choice.
There's a little mechanic about who gets to talk. And so
really
actually, this is one of the things that we wanted to have is the concept of the multiplayer conversation. And we haven't talked it up that much, but I mean, we want to have people play and go, wait a minute, so something. Yet, I mean, we actually one of the things when we were setting up the demo with the guys and talking about, we should list all the firsts. I mean, the first sort of sense of choice, the multiplayer conversations, a whole bunch of stuff that are literally firsts in the genre.
Who else but these guys would be like, yeah, we're gonna do that, we're gonna innovate way above and beyond what anybody even thinks an MMO should be.
Watch out for those explosions! You are nothing!
Then we got to go over and play some Mass Effect. I've never played an RPG before, including Mass Effect 1, where I thought this is a shooter.
The first game they tried to make the combat like a shooter.
And they got close.
And it was like a shooter.
Right.
But it seems like from what we've seen now that this game kind of is a shooter, and that's a good difference. The cover system seems to work better.
It's more like Gears of War where you have to press the A button to go into cover.
Okay. You can control your two AI characters in really interesting and discreet sort of ways.
We played, and they had the controls are really intuitive. Instead of having to bring up the circle menu like you did in Mass Effect 1 to have your other members of your party use their powers, you can map their powers just to the left and right D-pad because you only have two members. So it's I'm going to map this character's power to the left, I'm going to map this character's power to the right, the ones that you use the most. So it's just left, right, and they both target their targets, and you can send them individually to different spots.
Yeah,
and,
so it's almost like you have the power yourself, you know what I mean? Because you can tell them to do it whenever you want. Mass Effect was a fucking awesome looking game, ridiculously good looking. There were a few kind of weird things, but this game, every character looked super awesome. And they showed this one cutscene at the end of the demo with this new type of alien race, which is awesome. I can't wait to see all the new alien races. But yeah. He had reptile skin, and his voice sounded all wicked. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing how many new races they've added to the game, because every single one of those from the original Mass Effect were so cool. And now you have secondary heavy weapons. You get to choose one per map load or area that you go into. He made it sound like you only use it once or twice. It has very little bit of ammo. Oh shit! Now there's 12 guys in front of me. Let's just get rid of them all. Bam! And they all
with the rocket launcher.
Did they show the badass buggy thing?
The Mako? No, there was no Mako in this. I almost asked him about it because I know a lot of people didn't like the Mako sections in the first game. My guess is that they're trying to nail it, and they're not there yet, and they'll show it when it's done.
Right, and they did say in our interview with them that, yeah, Mass Effect 2 is going to have all the outlying planets.
They're optional still, but they're going to enhance your main story arc in Mass Effect 2. Lock frame rate, 30 frames a second, optimize textures, fast elevators.
The elevator.
Fast elevators.
No,
yes, that's key.
they can come. You enter an elevator, and in one split second, you're in the other part of the galaxy. It's
awesome.
So I'm really looking forward to it. I have no doubt it was. I mean, I think
really
that was my favorite looking RPG at the show, kind of by far, because they're not really showing their Old Republic yet, which would be the most insane thing ever.
They did have Old Republic demos that we unfortunately didn't have. Yeah, we just didn't have time to see them.
And Dragon Age looks way better than I thought it was going to look. So.
Yeah, Dragon Age looks really incredible.
What if life was like Squarespace?
Squarespace is a publishing system for anyone looking to build a blog, portfolio, or any kind of website. Squarespace offers a uniquely flexible tool for just about anyone, no coding experience required, to build high-end, complex websites with the same functionality and uniqueness that you find on some of the highest trafficked pages on the web. Good taste not included. Sign up today and use promo code COOP.
I'm done. I'm not lifting any more shit. Oh, my back. Good job, guys. Good job.
Keep it going. Keep it.
Use your back.
Lift with your legs or something.
Your knees. I think it's your knees.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. E3, man.
I'm tired. I'm beat.
I know. Let's talk about Shadow Complex. Shadow Complex was.
We can do that.
Grenades. All right.
The first time we saw it, we saw the trailer in the press conference, and totally the first thing I thought was like, dude, that's Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
Because he has like the half tuck and like the same like long sleeve shirt. It was awesome, actually. I was surprised by, not surprised. I mean, it looked pretty cool from the press conference.
It's very Prince of Persia like.
Yeah, totally Prince of Persia, and the shooting is exactly like Contra, where like right analog stick is just 180 or 360 degrees of your motion, and you can just kind of shoot in any direction. But there's like a cover system, which is really cool. Kind of Gears of War, like, you run up, you press A and you cover.
Right.
But there's also like the climbing. It reminds me really of like the Genesis titles, like Flashback from Genesis, right?
We saw there's the one boss battle with a giant spider, and like you're supposed to it's kind of puzzle-like where you have to kind of figure out like what the enemy's weakness is going to be, and his was like under the belly, so you had to like kind of wait for the spider to move forward and then move under him and then like throw grenades.
And it really transitions nicely between the cutscenes. It kind of zooms in, and cutscenes play out, and then it zooms back out, and it's once again like this 2D platformer. The graphics look really great. Like it looked a lot like Undertow. But the same guys.
I was gonna say like because you're saying like 2D, but then yet like enemies will be like in the foreground and in the background.
Yeah.
And yet like with the aiming, you can. I mean, the aiming was a little. I mean, they're still working on it, of course. But like, I felt like it was kind of hard to shoot some of the enemies that were in the foreground and the background, but you can too. So that gave it a little bit more like three-dimensional feel, even though it's 2D.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What's wrong, Billy? No money for new games? Well, try GameFly. GameFly is the largest online video game rental service and offers you a choice from over 6,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds. With plans starting at $15.95 a month, GameFly members can rent 1 to 4 games at a time and keep them for as long as they like. There are no late fees, no due dates, and shipping is always free. Once you're done playing a game, send it back and GameFly will send you the next available game on your list. If you really like the game you're playing, simply click Keep It on the GameFly website and the game is yours, at a discounted price. GameFly will even mail you the case and manuals free of charge. Co-op fans will get a 2-week free trial when they go to gamefly.com/co-op. Some restrictions apply. See site for details.
The other game we got to check out finally was, which I've been kind of waiting ever since they announced there was a peripheral controller, was the Tony Hawk Ride.
I guess the first thing that I thought of when the news came out about the peripheral, was I don't want another peripheral. I got all these guitars and drums and, things already at my house. I don't need another one, but it's actually, I thought it worked pretty well. There's a sensor on the nose and the tail, and then you have sensors on each side. And the first thing when I first saw the board, I was like, man, this thing's pretty short, I mean, the width of it was like 8 inches, like a normal size skateboard. But, the length of a skateboard's usually like 31, 32. Inches at least, and this is like 20. So it's like, it's pretty short. So keeping my balance on it was a little bit weird. And the first thing, group skateboarding, you want to put when you pop the board, you put the ball of your foot on the tail to kind of pop, just to snap it, to get it up. The sensor's there, so you can't do that. So you have to kind of keep it away from the sensor, because the sensor's there for, when you do a grab, like do a tail grab.
Grabs too.
And then, that's what each of those sensors on the sides were. And
this game kind of reminded me of that arcade game Top Skater, they used to have, where you had the board and you had the rails and you could just kind of jump around. You'd stomp on the tail and you'd do an ollie or a kickflip or whatever. And like the arcade game also, it seemed to me like you could just kind of flail around and your guy would be like 360 kickflip,
ridiculous.
360 flip in a nose grind into, fakey pop shove it out or whatever, and it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, well, there's 3 different settings, and we were only on casual setting, which meant like we were on rails, like we didn't actually get to skate around the full park. It was more like you go to this area and this area. Did you see like the line of like where you're supposed to go?
So you weren't
through?
actually steering?
No, not at all. So I mean, that's the other thing, is like we don't really know how well this peripheral actually is, because we were on rails. You're just physically doing the tricks and it's moving you along, Yeah, you got to like pump and pedal, but it wasn't like I could go like, oh, there's a rail here, but I want to check this ramp out over here. It wasn't like that at all.
Compared to having the skate on the Wii Fit board, which is the only other peripheral kind of experience we've had with skateboarding games, this is a lot better. I mean, this is a full board. It's very solid. It's it's full rubber. It feels a lot better to me than just pressing a corner on a Wii Fit balance board, which I was kind of always a little. It's on 360 we're playing, but it doesn't look all that great. Also, it kind of looked like a Wii game, in fact.
Yeah, so. Like when you compare how Skate 1 and Skate 2 look, it looks nothing near as good as those games look.
For hardcore skateboarders, like, this is totally the answer they've been wanting. This is the rock band for the skateboarders.
I don't know, I'd be more willing to spend the money if I knew more games were gonna be using this peripheral. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'd want SSX Tricky, to use this board.
I don't know, that'd be awesome.
I don't know.
I'd like a snowboarding game that uses this peripheral.
But it definitely has potential, and I want to get more hands-on, with it.
You mean feet on?
Guys,
what are you doing?
You need to get hands-on with the luggage. You're
seriously, you better. What are you doing?
We got.
All right,
like half it's already gone.
Let's just go. I'm tired. Gosh, should have been able to carry it all.